First up is the unfortunate Vagabonds of the C tier. Their abilities are bad, their items are bad, even in their niche they aren't very consistent, but at least if you're playing them you can convince people they don't need to worry about you. This is where you'll find the Ronin, who's half-heartedly built for combat but dependent on both tea and bags. Their ability is the epitome of situational, and in most cases it's a direct downgrade from just starting another battle. Beneath the Ronin is the Scoundrel. While they may be the S tier in our hearts, it sadly doesn't translate in-game. They've got the worst starting items of any Vagabond, and while their ability can be really strong, you need that torch for virtually everything you do, and you don't score infamy when you use it. Moving on up is the B tier. Just like the gifted kid at primary school, there's one thing these Vagabonds can do better than anyone else, but they're bad at all the things that actually matter. You'll find the Vagrant here, one of only 2 Vagabonds to start with 3 items, and sadly none of them are the Hammer. Their ability is a great replacement for swords, but sadly not a great replacement for taking extra hits. Even though they're playing the game on hard mode, they're actually really good at the aid strategy. Above them is the Arbiter, the only Vagabond that can get 5 swords. The Arbiter is an unstoppable engine of destruction, so long as all of the pieces are in the same place. Suffering from limited mobility and having low resilience to enemy battles, the Arbiter is the definition of feast or famine. While writing this guide, I forgot he even had an ability. Next up is the A tier. These Vagabonds are well-rounded, and they've got something special that makes them dangerous to ignore. They're a solid choice for most any game, but you'll still have to overcome the classic Vagabond problems. Starting this list is the Ranger. Many Vagabonds live or die on whether they can acquire the tea, and you will always be one of them. Perhaps the most resilient Vagabond, however, their torch ability lets them repair 3 items and stay out of the forest longer. Above them is the Adventurer, the only Vagabond that makes questing worthwhile. They suffer the curse of starting with only 3 items, but one of those items is the Hammer, allowing you to craft items right off the bat and make it to 3 hammers if you want to craft favor cards in a base deck game. Topping off this tier is the Thief. Many Vagabonds live or die on whether they can acquire the tea, and you will never be one of them. They have a well-rounded kit and a niche ability, but you can be reliably successful in every single game. Next up is the S tier. These Vagabonds are so good at what they do that the game revolves around their presence, and a wise table will not let them go a single round unscathed. Separating them from every other Vagabond is the fact that there's no challenge the game can throw at you that your kit does not provide an answer for. In no particular order is the Tinker, the most powerful necromancer the woodland has ever known, for the entire discard pile is part of your hand. This is the only Vagabond that forces your opponents to clog their hands with cards they can never craft in order to keep them away from you. You can use your ability to craft any craftable card twice in a row, and as I'm sure all of you are aware, you can craft the favor cards multiple times. Alongside the Tinker is the Harrier. They don't need tea, they don't need bags, they do not sleep or breathe or blink, all they do is kill. With the ability to teleport anywhere on the board, nothing is safe from the Harrier, and they're only 1 ruined sword away from peak effectiveness. They force the table to put 4 warriors in front of any piece of cardboard that exists, and for some unknown reason they also start with the coins, granting a major advantage in crafting and aiding over other Vagabonds.